So the CDC, the chief now, has said we don't have to wear masks if you've been vaccinated. Okay. Now, 45 days ago, on March 29th, she warned the nation of dire days ahead. Quote, I'm going to lose the script. I'm just going to reflect on the recurring feeling that I have of impending doom. Right now, I'm scared. I know what it's like as a physician to stand in that patient room, gowned, glove, mask, shielded, and to be the last person to touch someone else's loved ones because their loved ones couldn't be there. Now, that was on March 29th. We continue to recommend masking in crowded outdoor settings and venues such as packed stadiums and concerts where there's decreased ability to maintain physical distance, where many unvaccinated people may also be present. Now, that, she said, on April 27th. Okay, so what is she saying today? April 27th, we have to have outdoor precautions and we have to wear our masks, et cetera, et cetera. She says she's following the science. Okay. Well, let me give the science here to Stu, who I know follows all this, and tell me what I'm missing. Excess mortality. What excess mortality, correct me if I'm wrong, excess mortality is we have a certain number of deaths every year. It should be kind of like a flat line unless something big happens.
Yeah.
And we have a really bad flu season. We don't count the regular flu season. We expect to lose those people. It's everything over what we normally would have.
Right.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we had a lot of excess deaths, in the last year.
Yes.
However, the excess deaths the week of January 3rd began to collapse. By February, it was back to summer 2020 levels, which was pretty good, but you could still have maybe a rebound. By March 14th, excess mortality was at 1% above the 2015-2019 average. This occurred even as very few Americans were vaccinated. When excess deaths began to drop, less than 1% of Americans were fully vaccinated. At the end of January, less than 2%. By the end of March, when excess mortality returned to 2019 pre-pandemic levels, only 15% of the population had been vaccinated. As of May 11th, only 1/3 of Americans have been fully vaccinated, even though they've been saying 60, 70% of the population has to be vaccinated. What happens, Stu?
Well, let me give you the entire answer here in the next 18 seconds before we go to commercial.
We can do it after the top of the hour. But do you have an... Do you know what changed? Do you know what changed?
Yeah, sure. We can go into that.
What happened? What is the science here?
Well, one little part of this, and I know this is not your larger point, but Ron DeSantis decided to try to keep old people alive, as opposed to Andrew Cuomo, who went the opposite way and thought, what if we kill off as many as possible by importing COVID patients into their nursing homes? And that was a questionable tactic. It was early in the pandemic, though, so who knows?
Let me tell you, Mr. Steve Brickier, okay? I know your real name. I know where you live. You know what I'm saying?
So America's Dumbest Mobster was part of
it was part of the New York numbers.
This did happen. And I think DeSantis did a very good job. I mean, the numbers in Florida are around the middle when it comes to effects from the virus. He put less restrictions on overall. Part of this I think is outdoors to indoors. There was a flare up in the South when people decided, holy crap, it's hot outside. I don't care about this virus. I'm going inside to the air conditioning. And the opposite seems to have happened in the north. When it's so cold they don't want to go outside, we've seen flare-ups there. When it's nice, when it's spring and summer, they had lower levels of virus. That's just part of it. I mean, you can't just simplify this to one thing. There's a million different factors.
I know, but I was just in Florida this weekend. Mm-hmm. I didn't see anybody wearing masks in Florida. It's wide open, but then you go to the airline and it's like, you will wear a mask.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm wearing a mask. You have not applied it right. Put it over the nose. Make sure it stays over the nose. You're like, okay, I got it. I thought it was over the nose. I mean, it was a stark difference.
It's interesting too
between Florida and the airport.
That and Texas, with the two places you were flying in between, are largely completely open at this point. And now it's interesting because the guidance on airlines really did change with Biden. And this is something that he can kind of control more directly. And when they always had masks on when Trump was there as well.
Yeah.
Though did you hear the 14 announcements they had to make about masks during the flight?
Oh, not only the 14 announcements, but the 56 announcements that if you violate these rules, you may never be able to fly with us again.
Yep, there's threats attached to it. That's true.
Yeah.
And that's all new. Most of that is new from the Biden administration where he put this on. And I will say, the CDC did open up. Everyone talked about this as how they opened up all of these things for people who were vaccinated to go do whatever they need to do. The science didn't change between the period 2 weeks beforehand when they said something else, but also they didn't open it up to things like airplanes where, again, there's no evidence that a vaccinated person needs to wear a mask on an airplane. In fact, the airplanes with their circulation systems are actually pretty good places, and you're unlikely to get the virus on an airplane. But they kept those on, mass transit, a bunch of other different things that are probably completely unnecessary, but will continue to go.
That are all controlled by the government.
Yeah, when they can control it in a central way, they're going to keep it on for longer than any of us are comfortable with.
Correct, and that's another reason why you don't have government running everything.